And welcome to Overtime, brought to you by Kingscast at www.kingscast.net. I'm Keith Cornelick.
And I'm Chris Calasis.
And we were back at Staples Center this Thursday evening. The Los Angeles Kings were taking on the Minnesota Wild. The final score was 6-3. And Chris, let me tell you, if the season ended today, the Los Angeles Kings would be the 7th seed in the West, playing the Nashville Predators.
That's right, Keith. Another great win for the Kings tonight. I know before I said the top line still hasn't clicked yet, but I'd say it's clicking tonight.
Justin Williams, Anze Kopitar, and Ryan Smith have completely figured it out. And to me, Ryan Smith is the difference maker for the LA Kings. The guy is playing insane hockey, and clearly it's rubbing off on Anze Kopitar because he's playing a physical game. You know, he's making some absolutely creative plays, and there's someone there to finish for him. I think that's fantastic.
The top line is playing the way it should be playing. I think we have a premier top line in the league right now.
Ryan Smith had 2 goals and 1 assist tonight. Kopitar had another goal. He had, I believe, 2 assists.
Yes. This is a line you do not mess with.
The second line, to me, is the one that's a bit of a mystery. We have Jarret Stoll centering Dustin Brown and Teddy Purcell. Teddy Purcell did have a goal tonight, a great pass by Jarret Stoll, but there's something missing there, Chris.
We haven't seen that second line click yet, but what are you going to do about that? Do you dip into the fourth line and sort of take, a Trevor Lewis and throw him on the center of the second line? I do not think so. It's not clicking yet, and Dustin Brown, you can feel the pressure for him. Dustin Brown is forcing a lot of plays right now. He's shooting too quickly. He's not getting the shot set up.
I think that will work itself out over the course of the season. Terry Murray said at Hockey Fest he thinks Dustin Brown can score 40 goals. I think we've all seen it before. That can happen. But something's got to change in the chemistry of that second line, Chris. I think Dustin Brown needs a true playmaker in front of him, and everybody knows I don't think Jarret Stoll, while a really good player, is not a second-line center. After hearing about the first game in Manchester where Laktianov had 3 goals, he had a hat-trick in his first pro game. But that's the kind of guy you want with Dustin Brown. I don't know if Jarret Stoll's there. For me, I'm not sold quite yet on Teddy Purcell. I know the organization's really high on him. But to me, the second line is the Handzus, Frolov, and Simmons line.
Yeah, is there a way to switch those around, make that the second line? I see Terry Murray being a little more patient with the second line, but how long does that last before you switch things up?
I think it lasts until the first and third line aren't, and I think they have sort of a stay of execution. Your question of the day today is, if you're Terry Murray, what do you do with the second line? Leave your comment downstairs. Jonathan Quick had a pretty good game tonight. Where the Kings faltered was on the penalty kill. Going back to the San Jose game, which we won 6-4 the other night, it's still a bit of an issue. We gave up 4 goals on the penalty kill on Tuesday, and tonight we gave 2 of our 3 up. That's something that needs to be addressed because we were very strong last season.
There's definitely a lack of confidence when it comes to the penalty kill so far this year. I think it's definitely a concern. When a Kings player goes into the box, I have no confidence whatsoever. The penalty killer really has to be one of our biggest strengths.
The other thing which we were great at last season, and I think are struggling with a little bit this season, is the face-offs. Jarret Stoll is a face-off master. But this season's been very difficult, and I'm not sure why. Jarret Stoll needs to get better at face-offs. Tonight, Handzus wasn't as good as he was, and then there's still that issue on the fourth line. Who's centering the fourth line? Peter Harold, Brad Richardson.
So one positive this year has been the team toughness.
If Artukin knees Drew Doughty, several people will come after him, and they're going to make him pay. Mark Crawford style.
Yes.
You go back to the last game in San Jose where Drewski got hit by Brad Stutubitz, and Rydice Ivanov was not even close to the play. I believe he was skating off, and he dropped the gloves immediately, went over, Stutubitz wouldn't do it, and he fought Jody Shelley, and to me, he beat him down. To me, that's very important. I want teams to know that you cannot mess with the Los Angeles Kings this season. I think we're showing that. One of the things I saw that was very subtle in the game against San Jose is Setoguchi hit Kopitar, and Kopitar went down. It was no penalty, nothing. Jack Johnson was right there to hit Setoguchi. That sends a very subtle message. You go after anyone, someone is going to be there to hit you down. Tonight at Staples Center, it was pretty empty. I didn't hear the announced crowd. I think they were probably too embarrassed. It was somewhere, I'm sure, around 11,000, 12,000.
Although in King's fashion, it was probably 18,227.
Well,
which
there's
is a sellout.
there's just a lot of corporate sponsorship.
Yeah.
So apparently, Chris, the United States of America decided to change the national anthem to "God Bless America." The question is, who on the LA Kings made the decision to go to "God Bless America"?
I think it was Luc Robitaille.
Luc Robitaille's French-Canadian. However, the fan experience, especially in the upper bowl where Chris and I sit, was fantastic. We had a Minnesota Wild fan.
I think that you won a few at the game.
One of very few. This one was a very nice girl and had it out with a lot of us, but she was extremely passionate, which brings us to a two-part fan of the game, roll part one.
We've had an agreement. We can bleep them.
Okay.
Okay.
Interesting. I'm sure she does well in life. Now, part two are the two Kings fans that were all over her, and they were screaming, shouting, and these kids have got a lot of style. So roll part two of our fan of the game. So you guys saw some drunk Wild fan tonight. What did you do to get her going?
We just said, Wild sucks.
Wild fans, you suck.
We just suck.
Hey, Wild fans, you suck!
Okay. Yeah.
I love those guys.
I love the passion.
Hey, they love the Los Angeles Kings. If you dish it out, you gotta take it. Tonight, she took it.
She did.
Good. So one of the things we talked about last episode, we were very concerned that the LA Kings got rid of the McFlurry minute.
Especially since we got it.
We did suggest a free drink, but they wanted to open it up for the under 21 population.
They came up with the McMuffin Minute.
I eat at McDonald's 3 times a year, maybe. That said, McDonald's breakfast is kind of like crack. And, if I had a free Egg McMuffin, I'd be a happy guy. McDonald's, I'm loving it. I'd rather have a I want to send a special shout out to the folks on Kingscast.net and our friends on Facebook who've been leaving some great comments, getting involved in the community. So a special hello to our new friends on Hockeywood LA. Let's link that up.
So don't forget to hit us up on Facebook, at our Kingscast page, as well as Twitter.
I'm Keith Korneluk.
And I'm Chris Calzi.
And thank you so much for watching Overtime by Kingscast.